Shit, we gotta create them watch parties.
You cannot give up.
Can you hear this?
It ain't what you see. You cannot
Let's get
give
this
up.
watch party.
What you got to do is you heard it, you read it. I sent it out on Twitter. I told you, champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank.
Was it on the 1428? Here we go.
I'm obsessed with improvement. Every day I'm getting better. There are those of you with phones, and every new phone that comes out, you get it. Every upgrade, you get it. Every piece of software, you get it. You are upgrading your technology, and you've not upgraded yourself. That's the difference between the greats.
Was it on the 1428?
When they don't have no more, when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spend their last dime, that's when they get started. You are upgrading your technology. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sweetness and you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer.
You good?
Yep.
Listen to me. When you want to succeed as bad as you
All right, let's see who's in here. Give us a wave. If you in here, give us a comment, a like. Okay. Okay, Eric might be in here.
He's in here.
All right, if you in here, give me a shoot a comment through or something. Say hey, hello, something.
Like, okay. You gotta find something within. You gotta find something within, and that's gotta push you, and that's gotta elevate you, and that's gotta drive you, and that's gotta move you. When you find out what your why is, and your why gotta be
Wave something. Let me know who's in here.
all right, if you in here, give me a shoot.
Hey Pamela, how's it going?
I love something. Like,
Welcome. It's the echo, Baker. You hear the echo?
Yeah, it's an echo.
Yeah, you might have to cut that music off.
Let me know who's in here.
Let's turn it off.
Hey Pamela, how's it going?
And then you on your computer and the phone?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to either put your phone far from your computer or something. That's what yeah.
Cool.
We'll be getting started in a couple seconds. We just
you might have to cut that music off.
Turn it on.
I'm well, Pamela. How are you? So we know everybody's time is precious, so we're going to get started. So me and my brother William thought that it would be a really good idea to provide some weekly conversations about faith, family, and finances. We understand and know that there's a lot going on, and a lot of people are either sheltered, quarantined, or stuck in their house. There's a lot of stuff that's impacting our family, impacting our community. But we want to be more on a positive note, have that conversation to talk about how we can take this opportunity to imagine this year as the re. So as we know, 2020, there was a lot of conversations about New Year's resolutions, things that we wanted to do. With this recent situation, we have to rethink it, right? Have more of a growth mindset and understand that we are in the space of the re. And what re? What I mean by that, we're in the reestablishment phase, right? The remind stage, the recall, the refocus, and recreate. So within this situation, when a lot of people are thinking about how they're going to build their business, they're looking at their kids because their kids are at home. We want to really shift that. But before we jump into that conversation, I want to introduce my boy, my brother, William Baker. Say something.
Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm excited about tonight. This is our first ever broadcast. Most people don't understand the conversation that me and Dondreá have, and now we finally found a platform to actually share our thoughts and You know, y'all get to see, you know, behind the scenes of what me and him discuss, you know, on a daily basis. So, yeah, so I'm excited. Let's rock.
Yeah. So me and talk about a lot of things all the time. We talk about faith, we talk about family, we talk about fitness, we talk about finances, and we talk about it in an extremely passionate way. But what we wanted to do was bring it to this platform to inspire others, because I know it's a lot of people at home that share this same idea and want to
Right.
walk in this space or in this place. So we want to start with really talking about faith, right? We are both Christians. Our goal isn't to press upon any faith or belief system on anyone, but just talk about with the spread of and the understanding of the coronavirus and people being at home, how do we really engage in our faith, right? Because there's a difference between like strengthening your faith and learning about your faith versus applying your faith in reality. There's a lot of things that we know we are supposed to do, but are we able to really do those in these times? And for us, I'm a firm believer of that. So one of the things I've shared to strengthen my relationship with God and get back in the Bible, but also reflect any words or any comments. You hear me?
Your mic went out.
So the mic is out.
You good now?
You hear me?
Now. Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you can hear him.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can hear us, give some thumbs up.
I can hear you.
All right, we rolling.
Yeah, so with faith, I mean, for me in my situation, my relationship with God has become strengthened because I'm able to apply everything that I've been taught. I've had wonderful pastors, wonderful situations where people have really, taught me about building a relationship. But now more than ever, it's that time to really focus on some of these things. How do you apply your faith? So, Will, you want to tell people how you apply your faith?
Man, I apply my faith by, one, believing in God. And I'm not talking about the lowercase g. I'm talking about the capitalized G, G-O-D, God, you know what I mean? Because there's so many gods, in this world. But Jesus Christ, that's how I build my faith is on Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Because if you build your faith on anything else, it's going to vanish. It's going to mean nothing, You can't even build your faith, on your own marriage because, we're humans. So, the best way for me to build my faith is one, getting in the Word of God, hearing what God has to say. And I struggle at times as a Christian, and a lot of people struggle, with being consistent daily with reading the Word of God. And that's a weak point in my life right now, but I am trying my best to get back on track with, even reading the Psalms. Whatever day it is, today is what, the 17th, I believe. So you'll read like Psalm 17, whatever you got to do, to keep your faith in the Word of God. That's how I build my faith with my family, with my children, with my business, with my job, with whatever. Without Jesus, I can't do nothing. So without His Word, I'm nothing. So that's how I build my faith.
Right. So first of all, thank you for being transparent, because I know there's a lot of people out there that have some type of faith and belief system. And again, our goal isn't to press upon our faith versus your faith, but really look at how do you apply those things in this time. Usually we use a lot of things as barriers and excuses to not do things. Now you have to find the excuses and the reasons to do things, right? So we recommend, like, if you study the Word, if you study the Bible, have your own Bible studies, right? Maybe once a week, include your family, right? Start to reflect. I know a lot of guys typically don't journal, right? But this is your time to journal, right? Right. What are some of the things that you're feeling right now? What are some of the things you want to work on? Myself personally, I'm going on a fast. So I'm fasting right now. Again, really trying to think about what are some of the things that I can give up, but also what are some of the ways that I can get closer to God. I love my space where I can just either run, walk, or just sit in a space by myself and just listen to gospel music, right? Really centering myself, really, even though there's a lot of stuff going around in the world, right? There's fear and there's faith. So we are choosing faith in this reality over fear, because that's something that we want to overcome. Any other comments,
Right.
Baker?
About faith or about just getting into your word?
Anything? Yep.
I would say, like, as far as like getting closer to God, it's like essential. That's like not everyone's desire, but that should be everyone's desire. Is every day to get closer to God, by praying, by like you said, fasting. That's the best time to really, you know what I mean? You don't fast just to get something from God. You fast to let God know that I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and I want you. I don't want nothing else. I want you because I know that you control everything. You know my prayers, you know my heart. So I believe, like, fasting is a key, even if it's, putting away your plate. I know a lot of people deal with like social media fasting and all that, but that's not biblical fasting because they have social media. But abstaining from food, you know what I mean? Abstaining from food, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you can do, to get into the face of God and draw yourself closer to God and to kill this flesh. As far as like faith goes, yeah. So, yeah.
Right. Definitely remember, like right now, because of this current situation, there aren't many excuses. It's time to do. It's time to apply. It's really time to be in the phase of right? Rethink, rebirth, recreate, reimagine, reflect. This is time for you to really focus on these things. So while we're focusing, like let's talk a little bit about family, right? There are schools closed, daycares are possibly closing. You have fitness centers closing, areas where kids typically play are closing. So there's a lot of places that are closing, and now you are in a space with your kids, right? And more than likely for some families, they're in that space all day. So what are some of the things that you can do to really build that relationship with your family? When we say family, we're talking about family and friends and community partners, right? You should be checking on those people, not just your immediate family, but who's your friend, who's your cousins, who are your brothers, who are some community people that you've met? Like, are you checking on some of these people, just seeing if they need something? But again, William, do you want to provide any insight on how to strengthen your family in this time?
Man, and this time I was like, I texted my wife last night while I was at the store, and I told her I repented because I'm like, man, during this time, you know what I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot of confusion. Nobody understands what's really going on. Like, you know what I mean, you hear this from this person, this from this person, what you should not do. And in this situation, it can either break your family, you know what I mean, or it can heal your family. This is the perfect time to be able to spend time with your family. You understand? So when I texted my wife yesterday, I repented because I'm like, man, during this time, we should be, you know what I mean? I should be sitting down, reading the word with you, praying over my sons. Because, at first, when we heard about this virus, we was like, oh, man, it's not that serious. But now it's becoming more serious. And I understand people believe in, oh, you shouldn't be worried because God, we're not worried. You know what I mean? We're just concerned that we don't know what's going on. So this thing can actually spread, to our children. And God forbid, our children can die from this disease. So we just have to take it serious and know, like, man, tomorrow is never promised. So the best time to spend time with your family is like in this situation right now. Refocus on your family. Refocus on building that Bible study, with your wife or your cousin, your sister, whoever. And that's what I'm gonna do. Even if it's just sitting down praying for like 10 minutes over each other, read a scripture, just do something. I know we're gonna get into more of the movie night and all that stuff, later on. So, yeah.
Yeah, another thing you can do is have fun, right? Remember those times where y'all would go to the cookout, y'all would have those group gatherings and just have fun, right?
Man.
You don't have to have the same coronavirus conversation. Go back to those times where y'all talking about each other, right? Y'all just poking fun at each other and having fun. And you have a lot of family members, you say you're a family. Apply it, have fun, discuss values. Like, have you ever sat down with your family and started to build a legacy plan, right? Do you know what a legacy plan is? So these are things that you can start to do. You can sit down with them and say, hey, these are the values for our generations to come. These are the things I really want our family to focus on. This is a great time to do that. Everyone is in the same space and everyone is sharing the same environment. So start to build a legacy plan. Let your kids know what you have for them, what you see in them. This is time to start to speak into their life, start to know them more, right? You may have a few kids and you may pay one child more attention than you pay the other child. This is that time to really go back to that and say, okay, how can I have these one-on-ones with my kids because we are all in the same space? Teach them how to do things. I know for my daughter, like I'm always trying to teach her something. Today, we brought her gymnastics bar in the front room and she was doing gymnastics in here. I'm not waiting for the gymnastics recreation centers to open back up. We can pop gymnastics right now because we have something like YouTube. So really teach your kids the how to do. I know, William, you have a camera and stuff. Can you talk about what you do with your kids?
Man, like right now, what I'm doing with Ezekiel, who is 4 years old, I'm just training him as far as like a football player. I don't know. That might not even be, his gift or anything. But what I'm doing is, trying to get him more active because you can't go out to the parks. You can't go to Polaris no more. You can't go to these gyms. You can't go nowhere, right? So the best thing is like, try to stay active with your children. So my son, I just, coach him with our little football, have him run up and down the steps, do little push-ups, guide him. So, and my youngest son, he just want to eat. He'll work out for a couple of seconds and then go grab a strawberry. So, but, it's fun because it's building something that our children will remember. Even our wife, right? My wife. I got to figure out, to be honest, I'm like real transparent, raw. Like I care less because I'm transparent, I'm raw. And people love that and people want that. So with my wife, I haven't found a plan yet. So I'm trying to figure out a plan, right? So, yeah, so pray for me. But yeah, that's it. As far as I'm doing.
Yeah, the other piece is like game night, movie night. Like, what are some of the movies that you grew up on that your kids don't even know exist?
Man,
right?
Space Jam.
Yeah, watch some Space Jam. My daughter now, she's into the Magic School Bus because that's something that I grew up on. Schoolhouse Rock. Like, you can really start to shift to having your kids learn and see more of where you came from, which goes into educating your kids, right? Because they are being homeschooled, you can no longer wait for teachers to be the sole person responsible for giving them that education. We have things like YouTube, we have books, we have technology. Set up a couple things for your kids. Try to keep them on a good schedule because eventually they're going to have to go back to school, right? And you don't want them to have that summer slump feel and for testing purposes and all these other purposes. But have fun with your kids. Really get out there and engage them outside. Like my daughter, tomorrow, what we're going to do is go outside and learn about science through looking outside, right? Playing in the dirt, things like that. So this is a great time to educate your kids. Me personally, I'm excited about that because I remember growing up, we spent all day outside.
Man, bikes, stealing bikes.
Right. So we spent, hopefully our kids ain't stealing no bikes right now.
No, don't steal no bikes. We steal bikes.
But seriously, help your kids understand and place value in going outside, owning their education, because this is more than enough of a reason to do that. So again, for the sake of time, we're going to jump into finances. If you have any questions at this point, feel free to comment. Let us know if there's something else you want to hear us talk about. But let's jump to finances. So for me, I'm the founder of 1428 Financial Wellness, and I've spent the last 2 years really helping people prepare and be empowered to take control of their finances for situations like this, right? So we know that taxes, for a lot of people, they just receive their taxes, and hopefully people have some funds or emergency funds in this case because you're facing unemployment, you may be facing possibly losing your business, and you're really trying to figure out how do you stretch that dollar. So as I always tell people, your health is your wealth. So first and foremost, you got to think about your health, right? You just bought all of this food. You just bought a lot of food. It will be a shame if you ate up all that food in a week, right? Because everybody's at home. You see the food every day, right? So think about how can you have some home workouts. You can run outside, work out outside. Some great workouts that you can search for is on Instagram, YouTube. Just type or Google home workouts, but try to work out at least an hour a day. You want to try to do that. Any advice on that, William?
Yeah, home workouts. I've been seeing a lot of people posting, comments or posting stuff on IG and Facebook like, dang, my gym is shut down. Oh my God, my gym, you Rona, you But the thing is, it's like, bro, or lady or miss, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, get back to the core values, you know what I mean, of home workouts. There's YouTube videos, do yoga. There's so many things you can do in your home. Work out with your children, run up and down the steps. You know what I mean? You still can go outside, do some jump rope. Like, so you don't need a gym. It's just a poor excuse. You know what I mean? So, let's see how strong you really are when you work out by yourself, when you can't look around and see, you trying to be comparing yourself with this person, that person. Now it's time to compare yourself with yourself.
Right. So remove those barriers, right? So one of the things that me and William does is we play video games, but within breaks, we're doing push-ups, we're doing sit-ups, right? Again, I eat once a day right now because I'm fasting, but I work out in the morning and try to work out in the afternoon. So you want to position yourself to focus on fitness, right? Because if you come out of this situation and you're heavier, right? You feel sick, right? Think about the money that it's going to have to take care of you. So think about those things in this time. Again, this is the right? For some of you probably had New Year's resolutions where you wanted to work out or lose weight, and you probably wasn't on the track to do that. Reevaluate. This is the time of reevaluate, reimagine, redo, recreate. This is that time. But another thing that you can do is start to talk to your family about money. I call it the PED method: participate, educate, and demonstrate, right? With your kids are at home and they don't really know the value of a dollar right now. You know it right now because you're going through this situation, but they don't really know it right now. So participate, educate, and demonstrate for them. Participate means that you're actively learning or trying to learn about finances, right? You're trying to participate in the spirit of learning about money. All of us can sit here and say there's so many things we just don't know about money, but this is the opportunity to learn. Educate. You want to position yourself where you're exploring financial literacy in a different way, right? If you want to learn about investing, I know a lot of people are like, okay, I want to invest in the stock market, right? I know a lot of people are also in a situation. Girl, if you don't get out this camera.
Hey.
I know a lot of people are also in a situation where they want to learn about stocks and bonds. Like, don't wait for that. Go ahead and learn now. I tell people sometimes the best teacher is actively doing. So if you want to own some stock, go own some stock, right? Don't let fear drive you away from learning about stock and getting into the stock market. Now, don't go throwing $10,000 in the stock market without talking to some brokers. But what you can do easily is go to Robinhood and just purchase some small stocks so that you can learn how the stock market is operating, and you can learn more about how some of these stock markets are impacting the economy. Again, demonstrate for your kids, right? Give them examples. Start to give them money. Start to create a budget for them, right? Build a budget for them and have them determine how the money is going to be spent for the next week and talk about needs versus wants. There's so many things that you can do to help your kids learn about money in this process, because one of the things you don't want to do is not utilize this opportunity, because this is an historical event, right? This is something that we all are going to share as a form of our identity and a piece of our history. So you want your kids to be able to come out of this and say, daddy or mommy taught me, or my guardian or this person taught me how to budget through this process. This person built a relationship with me. This person taught me about family more and really showed me their values. This person talked to me about their past. How many of you have talked to your kids about the past and what you grew up learning, or some of your emotions, or some of the things you want to work on? Man. This is that time. Any comments about that?
Nah, you good. You got it. You on fire.
So let's jump into meal prepping. So I believe this is the best time to start meal prepping, right? And I encourage people to meal prep about 3 times. You don't have to meal prep for the whole week, at least something that can cover 3 or 4 days of eating. Because again, since we're in a space where grocery stores are restocking or not restocking, you want to be able to stretch those meals, but also be prepared. And one good thing you can do is cook with your kids. Teach them how to cook. Right? A lot of our kids are in that system where they're calling Uber Eats, right? They're calling Grubhub, but they really don't know how to cook. Sit down and teach your kids how to cook, right? Teach them how to stretch $1 through cooking some of those meals. You may not have to cook some of the meals that we grew up on, but still you can cook them meals that are also healthy and they're within a budget, because I call it balling on a budget. Finally, build your business. Me and William, we both have our own business. Again, I have a finance business where I help people take control of their finances. Will, you want to talk about your business?
Well, I have a videography business. I'm bringing people's visions into film so you can be able to market, your vision. I understand a lot of people want to promote their business, and a lot of people don't have the right marketing tools. And I believe these days, if you look at Instagram, I don't know if you know Gary Vee, but like Eric Thomas and all these guys and all these women, they're shooting videos, content, and giving it to you, even if it's through a phone,
Right.
Whatever. So that's my business, is to help other businesses grow through marketing, through social media platforms or interviews, documentaries, etc. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for sharing. There's a lot of people that have small businesses or trying to build their small business, right? So whether you have a business and right now you can't do much, you can still start to build that business. Remember when you was operating that business and you always said, I don't have time to do X, I don't have time to do Y.
Mm-hmm.
This is that time
now.
Right? This is that time to start to build your marketing plan. This is that time to start to write down some of your goals for your business. This is that time to think about additional revenue strategies. If you are not a business that is either delivery or online service, can your business do that? And if so, start to build that in now. I have financial workshops online because literally in December, there was this push for me to have them. And I'm so lucky I have them, because before it was just a lot of one-on-one as well as going to the space. So now I can offer my financial education online. But again, if I was in a situation where I would have denied that opportunity to build it, I will be struggling with my business and trying to provide financial education. So this is that time to spread that. Also, another thing you can do, so you can go to Google and type in financial relief, financial support for small businesses. If you have a small business right now, there are a lot of things that are starting to come up across the internet that will help you with your small business, whether it's loans, grants, etc. You want to tap into those. But another thing you can do is barter. Right? If there are other businesses that are around you, maybe instead of paying cash for something, you can trade. Right? So if there is a delivery business or someone, maybe you can talk to them and say, hey, how about you give us some meals and we give you service, right? Maybe you have a cleaning service. You can say, hey, we'll come in and clean your space if you can give us some meals. There are so many ways to be creative, right? We are in the time of recreate, reimagine how we can operate in this situation until we enter another situation. Anything else, Will?
That's good. So the key thing is just start, with this precious time. Even if you don't have idea, just start writing down stuff, creating things, try to figure out problems that you can solve that fits your gifts. That's a whole nother thing as far as like gifts. We can talk about gifts of the spirit, or we can talk about natural gifts, singing, artistic, rapping, or whatever. Those type of gifts are different than, spiritual gifts. But, figure out your gift, figure out what God placed inside you, and find a problem and solve it. So that's how I did it. I found a problem. Actually, it was funny because I found a problem in Dondreá's business, 1428. And his problem was he didn't have marketing. He didn't have videos. Well, no, because he can't do everything. And in your business, you can't do everything. So you have to rely on others. You have to trust. Some will be broken. Some trust. You might have some trust issues, but you have to trust somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how me and him work. And boom, we building more businesses.
So yeah, we'll open this up to any questions, comments. We want to have this as a weekly thing, but you know there are Corona conversations out there, right? We can talk Corona all day, but let's be more productive in this time, in this spirit, in this season, because when we come out, we want to come out refreshed, renewed, and ready to address the next thing, right? Ready to prepare for the next thing. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Another thing I wanted to mention was there was this article out there talking about how 40% of Americans don't have at least $400 in cash to cover their emergency expense. Think about that, right? So we're in a moment of crisis and emergency, and there are a lot of people that don't have $400 to cover an emergency, right? There are a lot of people that can't even go get groceries right now. So think about some of the things that you can do in this time, right? So when you come out of it, you come out prepared and ready to walk into the next space and phase. So I just want to add, this is a note aside. I encourage people to have budget meetings, right? And this time, talk to your spouse, talk to your kids about your budget. And this is just a quick, I can send this to people if you just in my DM, just send me some information, or just go to my website, www.1428fw.com. I can send you some spreadsheets, some worksheets, some activities that you can do in this season with your finances, right? But you should at least still be talking to your family about money at least 30 minutes a month, at least 30 minutes. And this is some of the things that you can do. But then also, this is I have financial literacy workshop courses. You can go to mymoney.thinkific.com. You can sign up for those. Here are coupon codes that have basically given like 80% discounts because I want people to learn more about money. But again, that's up to you if you want to do that. And then also, this is how you can follow us on Instagram. We are here to really shift the conversation from Corona, right, to how can you take care of yourself, right? How can you look at this as a space and place to reimagine, recreate, rebuild, reflect, right? All the re's. This is literally 2020. This is your opportunity to redo everything, right? There's a lot of people that want to lose weight that failed at that in the first couple months. This is your opportunity to go back at it, go hard. We want to motivate you. And if we don't have any questions, stay tuned for our next live next week. If there's something else you want us to talk about and go deeper into, if people want me to go deeper into stocks in the stock market, if they want me to go deeper into how to educate your kids with finances, if y'all want us to go deeper in how do we apply a lot of these things, please let us know, because we want to give a great conversation and be responsive to our audience and continue to build this motivation we really want you to do in this season. Any comments, Chris?
Nope. Just check out those videos. I'll be posting almost every other day to encourage you. Those 1 minute, 2 minute videos that will get you through this each day, because this coronavirus, we're gonna conquer this. We're gonna overcome this, and guess what? We're gonna be free again.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah.
Google anything, right? If you want to learn activities to teach your kids, Google those. There's a lot of like ABC Mouse are giving free subscriptions for your kids. There's so many things that your kids can do to utilize technology. But again, I'm done talking. I value y'all's time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Share this with people. This is a recording, so we'll put it out there for the people to see. But yeah, we'll talk to you later. Stay blessed.